Scripture. The Lord is my light and my salvation. Whom shall I fear? The Lord is the strength of my life. Of whom shall I be afraid? Psalms 27th chapter, first verse. In U.S. news, federal aid for LA wildfires should have conditions attached due to dim mismanagement, Speaker Johnson declares. It comes down to leadership. The moment last week's newsletter went out, this story and the fires continue to dominate the national conversation. LA Times owner Mayor Karen Bass endorsement, a big mistake. What happened in LA took generations of mismanagement, yet when it hits the fan, the black woman got left holding the bag. The national backlash against diversity, equity, and inclusion isn't about race, it's about competence and the role such priorities have contributed to high taxes, aka the high cost of living. Infamous Colorado apartment complex overrun by Tren de Aragua is ordered shut over imminent threat. These gangs are already here in New Jersey. Be careful and keep your head on a swivel. Biden brags about disastrous Afghanistan pullout that left 13 U.S. service members dead during his end of term speech. My goodness. At what point do we acknowledge the last 4 years were overt sabotage by a puppet president and anti-American administration? Senate closer to adopting Laken-Riley Act, cracking down on illegal immigrants for theft, shoplifting. This deport illegals convicted of crimes. Unfortunately, New Jersey representatives voted against it. Your government hates you. California family's Virgin Mary statue survives LA wildfire that destroyed home in a remarkable miracle. Prayers up. Recovery continues in Metro Atlanta, North Georgia, after Friday's winter storm. This went under the radar because California has been taking all the oxygen, but fire and ice coast to coast. In New Jersey news, New Jersey teacher on leave arrested for terroristic threats that closed school in Ritzy, Montclair. You know, the fun part about being an adult is that you realize that most adults don't know how to adult. Murphy supports banning cell phones from all New Jersey schools, but not gender ideology. One fun theory is that he wants the phones gone so the children are isolated and can't get the indoctrination on video. 61 towns in New Jersey flipped for Trump over Harris in a staggering shift. Even a few Essex County towns flipped. And as always, watch the New Jersey Republicans fumble this ball. Warning of massive rate hikes for PSE&G customers in New Jersey. We're all feeling it, and it won't be getting better anytime soon. New Jersey gas prices are on the move, and not in a good way. See what I'm saying? New Jersey officials announced staggering gun violence statistic for 2024. Don't let the electeds keep lying to you about the effectiveness of gun laws. As Americans, we should all be strapped up. The government disarmed us for situations like the pandemic. In world affairs, Israel and Hamas reach breakthrough in hostage ceasefire negotiation talks. Trump said all hell will break loose if the hostages weren't returned by inauguration. Our women may not believe Trump, but our enemies certainly do. Russia says its forces captured 2 settlements in eastern Ukraine. Sure could use that money for California right now. Trump says he will create new agency to collect revenue from foreign sources. He calls it External Revenue Service. Get it? Cuba to release 553 prisoners following talks with Vatican. The world is slowly healing. Romanian court lifts house arrest of internet celebrity Andrew Tate. He's claimed he's going to run for PM of Britain. Davos to welcome Trump virtually as world leaders await new president's policies. That's what the kids call motion. In culture, Drake, UMG used Not Like Us to tear down my career, sue labels for defamation. Half-black Jew has problems taking L and officially files a lawsuit, proving the point that he was never remotely respectful of the urban principles that he happily stole from. Tory Lanez to Megan Thee Stallion restraining order request is bogus. She's an admitted liar, and they actually granted her that restraining order because it's about continuing the violent black man is abusive of the women narrative that the media, Democratic Party, and Satan love to reinforce. MSNBC president resigns amid declining ratings. MSNBC spent years lying to its viewers to a point where it's likely to be sold soon, and look who was in charge. All right, we got all the governor stuff that we put in the newsletter. Okay, here. Now we're at Jay's Corner. Brethren, I need to make this abundantly clear. Our Father's Order is not an AME ministry, nor is it membership solely contained within the walls of Israel Memorial. Yes, a goal of this ministry is to bring more men into Israel, but the point of this ministry is to reinforce the will of our Father and strengthen our resolve to stand firm and lead in our faith as men of God. 1961, 1865, slavery. 1865 to 1965, segregation, Jim Crow. 1964 to the present, integration, the welfare state. That was an abridged version of Black American history. From 1865 to 1965, the strongest thing in the United States was the nuclear black family, mostly because all we had was each other. After signing the Civil Rights Act, Lyndon B. Johnson's Great Society was a Trojan horse that introduced the welfare state, where the government promised the women they'd be taken care of if they got rid of the men. A godless shift in Black American culture happened that reverberates to this very moment. It wasn't solely government policy, but all institutions, including hospitals, the media, and the church, that have infiltrated and slowly drained the Black American family of its masculinity. 60 years is 4 generations of men being raised out of our Father's order. We look around at men that live to emulate women, and women who believe they are biologically superior to men, ignoring God's purposeful engineering, boiling in sin. The word of the week is dangerous. Dangerous definition: involving possible injury, pain, harm, or loss, or able or likely to inflict injury or harm. As men, we're supposed to be dangerous. We've been programmed to believe that danger is inherently bad and to be avoided at all costs. We've been programmed to be afraid of the latent danger that we pose, to be ashamed of our instincts, and to bury our masculinity as to not offend feminine sensibilities. Danger is inevitable, and I would dare say God designed us to be dangerous because He knows that He has allowed worse to roam this earth. Our inherent danger isn't to be feared by anyone who believes that Jesus is the only way to salvation, but those who would usher our brothers and sisters to hell in pursuit of acceptance from the world should be terrified. Guys, with that being said, it's over. See you next week.